I'm scrolling on my phone right now because a good friend of mine named Jalen Sandvik has asked me, he's a big fan of our show, big Ohio State fan. He has asked me to read this text to you. Once again, an Ohio State fan. He asked me to quote this word for
Okay.
word. So this is from my good
Oh
buddy Jalen.
God.
Okay, this is not me saying it. I'm reading it directly from my text. Tell Josh Penn State is a bunch of fucking frauds. You're welcome, Jalen. Josh, the
Oh
floor is
my.
yours.
Well, um, Penn State has not beaten Ohio State since that blocked field goal in 2016. Ohio State has won every game against Penn State since then. Um, Penn State could not do anything offensively to save their life. They were horrible on third down. Um, I don't get it. James Franklin cannot win these big games to save his life. Like, he had a golden opportunity to lead Penn State into Ohio State this week or last week, whatever, and beat the Buckeyes. And they couldn't do it. Penn State looked horrible on offense. They couldn't run the ball. Drew Aller, looked timid when he was passing the ball. I thought they might have a big vertical passing game. No, that was non-existent. And you got to give Ohio State all the credit. They played the better game. Marvin Harrison Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr. is him, although I hated that Gus Johnson throughout the game kept calling him Maserati.
Marvin.
Yes, I hated that. It was very annoying. I'm not even saying that as a Penn State fan. I'm just saying that as a general fan. It drove me crazy constantly hearing it. That's why I like Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit better. I wish they had called the game on Saturday, not Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt, but that's a different subject for another day. But yeah, Ohio State was all around the better team, and I just gotta say, good game, Ohio State. You guys got Penn State. I can't. I'm not gonna come out here and be a sore loser and say Penn State did this and then no. I'm not that type of fan. If Ohio State was the better team, just say it. And you know what? Ohio State was the better team. That's all there is to it.
As the co-host of Championship Ring / moderator of Championship Rings, I'd take a second to give Mr. Ungar a big clap. Because Josh Ungar is a real Penn State fan, and that man just gave you an objective analysis from his team of what he wasn't bitter, he wasn't sad, he told you exactly what happened. And very few fans, not including myself, because I would handle this game completely differently, so I give it up to you. With that being said, isn't this exactly what I told you was going to happen last week right here on Championship Rings? Told you it was going to be a low scoring game. I told you Penn State was going to have many opportunities to run the football, get points on the board, dominate Ohio State, because Ohio State's offense has not been good all year. The McCord kid is not a great quarterback. Marvin Harrison's a great wide receiver. You mentioned it. He's going to go top 5 in next year's draft. That's about all they have from the skill position standpoint this year. And I told you that, Ohio State's got a bunch of 5-star quarterbacks coming in, that this is probably the year that Penn State needs to get them. Though Penn State is a lot more younger of a team, Ohio State is more of a veteran team. But once again, James Franklin, who I have called the Andy Reid of college football, because we know Andy Reid back in his Philadelphia days and early Kansas City days, before he got Patrick Mahomes, was very bad at what? Clock management. And what does James Franklin not understand? Clock management and being conservative and being aggressive. And when you have a team on the ropes, you're not playing not to lose, you're playing to win. So Penn State's a very good team. They're probably a year away. Ohio State keeps winning these close games, which I think benefits not only their resume, but I think it will benefit them in the long run. If they do get into the CFP, we got to see them go head to head with Michigan. We know there's going to be a ton of animosity, even more now because of the scandal that is potentially involved with Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. It almost, for me now, both teams, and including Penn State, I know they have Michigan in a couple weeks, but it's kind of feels like a coast now to that game the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And I don't have a ton of thoughts on this game outside of this is exactly what I expected it to be.
Let me just touch on something you said about Michigan super quick. Watching that game, I didn't see either team having a realistic chance of beating Michigan. Right now, I know I've been arguing that Washington should be number one, but, I've gone back and I've watched Michigan games. They look like the most complete team in college football right now, even more so than Georgia. I would put Michigan number one in the CFP rankings right now. And
I'm surprised that AP hasn't yet. I mean, the only thing about Michigan, they have not played a single soul. That's the
neither
only
has Georgia.
thing about Michigan. Neither is Georgia, and I think that's why they're keeping Georgia number one is because you're going to stay with the chalk. We need to see. I think Michigan is the best team in the country. I think they have the best offensive line in the country. I think they have the best running game in the country.
Blake Corum is amazing.
Yes, he is. And McCarthy's been playing really well this year. I just want to see a Michigan against a Penn State. I want to see them do it to a very good team first.
Okay, that's fair. Here's my quick question about Michigan. Let's say they go on to win the national championship this year. Do you think people are going to say, when I say people, I mean obviously fans, media members, the like, given the controversy, do you think fans and others are going to say this championship needs an asterisk next to it?
It has a Bill Belichick Spygate feel to it. And I'm not saying New England cheated, I'm just saying it kind of has a feel around to it. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't think Michigan cheated. I don't know if they cheated or not. I don't really care. In sports, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. It's my philosophy in baseball. It's my philosophy in football, basketball. People steal signs all the time. It happens. It's life. Get over it. Michigan's a really good team. And it's funny. If Michigan was doing this, and let's say that they were 1-7, do you really think this story would get out? No, it wouldn't. It only got out because Michigan is good and people are mad about it and are trying to find any way possible to take Michigan down.
I wonder. I heard this idea earlier on one of the shows that involves talking heads. Do you remember when USC was caught up in their whole mess with Reggie Bush and all that? What did Pete Carroll do? He decided to make the jump over to the NFL and kind of get away from it, and he's been with the Seattle Seahawks ever since. What if Jim Harbaugh decides to do the same thing?
Thing is, though, Seattle was a really good job. There's not a great NFL job right now, in my opinion, outside of the Chargers. I think that would be the only job that would be better than Michigan. Michigan's a great job. Him coaching college football just feels right. The sport needs him, in my opinion. The Ohio State-Michigan rivalry being good again is good for the sport. And I'm not an Ohio State fan. All you Ohio State fans can come after me. It's good for the sport. And so I think it all depends. I think it's too early to tell right now.
That's fair. I just wanted to present that idea because I heard it earlier today, and it was just really caught my attention. So I figured I would ask you about it.